Yo 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 yo.
Charlamagne the guy.
Peace to the planet. It's Thursday.
Yes, it's Thursday. We got some special guest co-hosts with us this morning.
The young goats in the building.
From Whoreible Decisions, Wheezy and Mandy B. Welcome, ladies.
Whoreible is here.
And they listening too. They got regular jobs.
I am
a regular
proud
job. That's
member
what
of
we started.
The Whoreible.
We starting with regular jobs this morning. That's where we going already.
Oh, Jesus
Honestly,
Christ.
that's most of our whore hives. Whores are they're the doctors, they're the lawyers, they're the frontline workers.
Bus drivers,
They be
all
hoeing.
that.
every day working class.
Every day working class.
Every
people.
day.
That's right.
Well, good morning, ladies. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great. It's early. Gosh.
A little bit.
I ain't gonna hold you. I quit my job right before the pandemic, so I haven't gotten up back to jobs. I haven't gotten up this early in a long time.
I thought y'all been quit your job.
That's what I'm saying. Before the pandemic.
Are you listening?
No, I thought they quit way before that.
No, 2019 I quit.
Wow. Oh, I thought y'all quit in like 2017.
I quit in 2018 or something.
Okay.
I was taking. I had a sugar daddy to help.
Oh,
Jesus. Well, yesterday I went to. Why does our mic sound like that?
Wait, mine too. I'm like, do we sound hollow?
Dude,
Like we in the closet. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Now we sound like we in surround sound.
Yeah, I went to sleep yesterday at 3:30 p.m. and I woke up this morning at 4 a.m.
Damn, you get
Wow.
I was sick. I was feeling under the weather. My throat was hurting. I was passed right out.
Now listen, we just had to get tested. You get tested. I know you come up in there every day. All right, now.
I got 6 kids. I test every other day.
I know
Make
that's
sure.
COVID test, STD test. Every time I have to wait for a result, I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack.
What?
Like I didn't feel sick at all walking in here, but once I did that swab, I was like, well.
If they gave you an STD test, you in the wrong building. You went to the wrong place.
Any test freaks me out. Quizzes, just anything. And so when I was taking that COVID test today, she put that swab in my nose. I'm literally sitting there thinking of all the suspects.
Who the hell I been around?
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus.
What happens when you fail a COVID test nowadays? Because it's not like back in the day when they send you home and everybody got to leave the building. What do you do? What
You
do
probably
they do
take
now?
a second one. No, yeah. They'd be like, well, maybe something went wrong.
You go to the club. That's where you go.
I think somebody's just still trying to make money off COVID tests because don't nobody abide by those COVID.
Oh, we're about to have COVID ibuprofen soon, bro. Like, 1,000%. That's the evolution of COVID. Remember how we were in the wiping boxes phase? We not there no more.
You're right.
Y'all wearing masks on the plane still?
No.
No.
Well, you know what though? I do sometimes just because I feel like Asians were always on to something with
I
that.
was just about to say the only place I see the masks still is the nail salons, but they was doing that thing before COVID.
Mandy,
right.
that's fumes.
Yeah, that
is that why they wear that?
The fumes.
What about when they wear them? They've been wearing them at the airport too.
They've been wearing at the
They
airport.
do
for a
it
long
at the
time.
airport, and they ain't no fumes
And
at
you
the
be like,
airport.
what do you know that I don't?
That's right. They've been getting their Michael
They do.
Jackson on. Masks, gloves. They've been doing that.
All right. Well, today is Throwback Thursday, and we got a real player from the Himalaya.
Oh, a couple of them, actually.
That's right. The Isley brothers will be joining us this morning.
That's right.
Wow.
Hey.
Ron Isley and his brother Eugene. Ernie. I know begin with an E.
Yes.
I know begin with an E.
Is that the one suing Ryan or whatever?
No, that's the other brother.
That's the other brother that don't nobody know, and now he ain't getting no attention. Did y'all talk to them about that?
We did.
Okay,
Briefly.
good.
Briefly.
Real briefly.
Oh yeah, shout out to them though.
He turned into Mr. Biggs on Charlamagne when Charlamagne asked him about. He did a little bit. He did a little
I
bit.
love getting mad at you, and I
He
enjoy
wasn't
it.
mad.
I
He
love
wasn't
it.
mad.
He wasn't bad. He just
he had no words.
No, I mean people in totality. Like I was watching the Sukihana clip where she was going off on you about saying something. I'm like, I want a collection of people going off on Charlamagne and you just being there
online.
like,
It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter.
like, all right.
It goes viral every other month.
Has anyone ever made you like sweat, or is it just your job not to sweat?
No, not really. Not sweat. Like sweat mean like I think something's
Nervous,
happening.
scared?
Nah.
Not even
Maybe Nelly.
I was about to say you just said Nelly
Maybe
on Gillian
Nelly.
Wallow.
No, but that's a different question. That was I think who would put hands on me. That was Nelly.
Yeah.
But made me sweat now.
Yeah, y'all are actually like the same height, so it might be an even fight.
No.
Nelly.
No, Nelly got him by a couple inches.
Nelly would have took that one.
Nelly in shape.
Okay.
That'd have been a long day.
Yeah.
Not even Birdman. You this didn't do nothing for you.
Nah.
All three of y'all.
I would have had to help too. I probably would have got washed too, but that's all right. All right, let's get the show cracking. Front page news is next.
That's
Tesla
right.
Figaro will be joining us. We got a lot to talk about. All right, so don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning on BET. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our guest co-host from Whoreible Decisions, Wheezy and Mandy B.
That's right. We in the building, y'all.
I try to do the envy inflection.
Yeah, I heard. And let's get in some front page news. We have Tesla Figaro here. Good morning, Tez.
The Hood Whisperer.
Good morning, DJ Envy, Charlamagne, and Mandy B and Weezy in the building.
That's right. Well, let's start off with some sports.
It's going to be a lit day today, by the way. Did y'all get the list?
They already turned up.
Not to say.
We got the list.
Everybody telling us about this list.
I never seen them put the list right in front of somebody.
Right in front of you. Right here.
I just want y'all to know words that you cannot say.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Well, let's start off with sports. Last night, the Celtics beat the 76ers 121-87. Did you watch the game, anybody?
I fell asleep.
Come on, Ty, 1-1. Let's go.
Me too. What's your team?
I ain't going to tell you because I be knowing some people.
Oh, you be knowing, oh, boy.
Not flavor of the week team.
Boy.
You feel me?
She'll be like, well, I like the Clippers today. For the last 60 days, 2 months.
Well, Tez, let's jump right into Atlanta. So there was another shooting in Atlanta?
Yeah, and this is, I hate bringing this type of news, but it is, an important story that is happening, and it is still developing, so some things may change throughout the day. So I'll just do a quick recap for those that did not catch it. Yesterday, Wednesday, 24-year-old Deion Patterson was at a medical facility with his mother. He was seeking treatment after being dissatisfied with care that he was receiving from the Department of Veteran Affairs. He became agitated and used his handgun to open fire, which resulted in 1 person dead, 4 people injured. Now, yesterday, downtown Atlanta was in shelter in place for most of the day, but before the evening ended, I think around 7 o'clock, 7:30, somewhere around that time, he was apprehended in Cobb County in a condominium complex. Now, also on the floor, Georgia Senator Warnock provided a powerful speech on the Senate floor. Let's take a listen, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
I think that the unspoken assumption is that this can't happen to me. But with a mass shooting every day, the truth is the chances are great. I shudder to say it, but the truth is, in a real sense, is only a matter of time.
Taz, I'd be wondering in situations like this if these are people who are pulling up the places with the intent of shooting multiple people, or is this people who have like beef with one person, see their op, and then some innocent bystanders get hit and then they call it a mass shooting? Like, what is this?
Well, in this particular case, and I'm a veteran, and so I don't want to justify this in any way, but I do want to say that this gentleman this man got out of the military earlier this year. His mother said that, and the press conference yesterday, the police said they don't want to confirm any motive or not, but his mother did say that he was suffering with some behavior issues, and because we also know that on the New York subway yesterday, that Marine, which we'll talk about later on this evening, but he also was a veteran. So I just kind of want to point out that 44% to 72% of veterans do experience high levels of stress during transition from military to civilian life. 1.3 million veterans go uninsured nationwide. So it looks like that this is an issue that he was having with some type of medical treatment that he was not receiving, and it just looks like he snapped. But again, not making assumptions. They said that it's still developing. They want to get more into it. But the reason why I pulled that clip on only a matter of time, you guys remember last month when I told you my best friend lives in Atlanta and she's a teacher. And remember I told you that her daughter goes to Oklahoma University and they did a shelter in place. So this was so close to me because her son goes to college in Atlanta. So within 1 month, she's had 2 children, 2 college children that have had to shelter in place, one in OU, one that went to college in Atlanta, and she's a school teacher. So every day she goes to school on high alert. So just the anxiety of when she called me just in tears. And it's like, how can you have 2 incidents, 2 different children, 1,000 miles away, having to shelter in place and still got to go to school in the morning, wondering if it could be you. So when Senator Warnock said it's only a matter of time, I just feel like it's closing in on us, guys. Like getting closer and closer.
I will say this though, and not to say that it's that it should have happened, that he should have shot anybody, but when it comes to those vets, I understand, man. They go overseas and they risk their lives for our country, for our freedom. Then they come back and they're treated like dirt. And they just made a movie on it about a year ago. I seen it on the plane the other day. It was the same situation. The vet came home, he needed his money, he couldn't get his money, and he was homeless
at the bank. Yes.
And I understand, because think about it. They fight for our country. They could die. They put their life on the line, and we come home and we treat them like our government treats them like ish.
And Ted said something that's real that I never thought about. It's something we don't talk about enough. Is there some type of halfway house for people who just came home from the military, just came home from war? Feels like they need some type of treatment before they get back into society.
There's not. So both of my siblings, my brother and my sister, they're both Army vets. One served in Iraq, went over in Iraq around right after 9/11, and my sister just got back. She did South Korea, she did Germany. She's done 7 years. And now she's just back in school, and they both just went right back into work, right back into civilian life. And so there hasn't been really any therapy for her to talk about. And she's went through things that she's like, I can't tell you. I can't talk to you guys about it. So
isn't it crazy how you could almost walk onto an airplane, you get the pre-boarding, you get all these little special things everywhere else, but from your own government, you don't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, thank you, Tez. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Tez.
Absolutely.
All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Time to get up and get something.
Call up now. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
What's up, DJ Envy? This is Uber Mike, Dallas. How y'all doing?
Uber Mike, what's up, man? Get it off your chest.
What up, Mike?
Hey, I'm going to get it off my chest. Hey, I want to send a public announcement to your listeners. Parents and fellow drivers, stop picking up these kids with Uber. If they're not 18, they should not be riding Uber or Lyft.
All right, Uber Mike, I ain't gonna front. When my son was 17, I definitely put him in an Uber or two every once in a while when I had to, though. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes he had to get the practice. I had to throw him in an Uber.
But DJ Envy, I understand that, but it puts us at risk because if I get into an accident with your child, I lose everything.
I ain't think about that.
And the rideshare companies are not telling the drivers this. They're not telling them that. So I tell the parents, stop ordering or rides for your kids. If they're not 18, they're not riding.
I mean, that's a good thing because I definitely didn't know that. Let me ask you a question. How much does Uber and Lyft take? What percentage do they take from you?
About 55, 60%.
55, 60%. So you only make 40% of your
But
ride.
DJ Envy, I have engineered something that works for me or whatever. Because I know like different venues, comedy shows, baseball games. I know how to move. So I'm going to make my money with less time.
Yeah, I still think it's crazy that they take 60% when it's your car, your gas, and that's a lot. I think, but
It is a lot.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, brothers. Your Uber always clean, man.
No problem. Oh, man, I drive a Prius, Charlamagne.
I ain't asking about no Prius.
You always talk about you want a Prius. That's why he said it. See that? Look at you.
Oh, I'm definitely getting me a Prius.
Defensive.
Right.
I'm definitely getting me a Prius.
615 miles and 1 tank of gas.
Listen, there's an age limit on Uber. I know there's an age limit on
17.
Uber.
Yeah, you got to be 18 or
18
older.
years and up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I used to when my son had practice and I wasn't home, I would send him to practice in the Uber because I wasn't there. You know, it's only like
How
a
do they
10
know
minute
if you're
drive.
18 or not? They call you?
They don't.
They
But
don't,
what happens?
so that's why he's giving a
But when he
warning.
get in the car, they can look at the kid and be like, "You're not of age."
Gotcha,
And then my
gotcha.
son be like, "Yeah, I am. I'm 18," and you can't.
I wonder
question
who would be
it.
liable in a situation like that.
That's
If
what he would.
He just said he would.
Really? Even if the parent put them in the car, knowing that they were underage?
Yep.
Oh, 'cause
Interesting.
I guess it would be the parent's profile, right?
Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Jazzy. Sean, what's going on?
What's
Drinking
happening?
this morning?
Hey, man, this is Jazz calling from out of Virginia Beach. I just wanted to give a shout out to all the single moms. I'm a first-time mom, and it is hard. It is hard. It's like doing it by yourself. It's a lot. And I just want to give a shout out to all
Why the baby daddy
single moms.
not in your life? What happened?
No, I actually went through a sperm bank, and I wanted to have a baby. I've been trying for 3 years. I'm actually gay, so I don't like men.
She's gay.
Oh, got you.
Yes, I'm gay. Yes, I went to a sperm donor bank, and because I really want to have my own child.
White? Did you get a white man or black man or Asian or
So,
Spanish?
sir, I have a black donor. My son is very handsome.
Oh, so do you have a baby mama? Do you have a, what do y'all call that? I don't know what do you have a significant other?
There you go.
No, I don't. I'm doing it all by myself. Well, I have my family, but it's really just me.
Okay.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you.
what'd
Who
you
you
name
got special guest today?
Mandy and Weezy.
There's just some hoes in his house.
Oh, how y'all doing? You know, so yeah.
You said he was handsome.
It's a lot.
Hold on, real quick. If he handsome, do you get his info later? Like, how you get to? We want to know what he look like. What's up with him?
He's
Baby. No, the sperm donor.
Oh, the sperm donor.
If the baby's handsome, that must have been some good sperm.
Oh my goodness.
It really was. It's on Facebook. They have this place called it's called Black Sperm Donors.
Hold on, you got your sperm from Facebook?
Oh boy.
Yes, I did.
Wait, did they
Jesus
ship
Christ.
it to you? How's it work?
No, it's a group Facebook called Black Sperm. There's a whole bunch of black sperm donors on there, and that's where you can vet them out and everything. So
How
you
come
get
nobody
genetic
told the
tests.
brat?
Why no one
Nobody
told the brat?
and her boo boo.
Thank you, Mama. I don't think that's like medical. I think she just went to a site and it's just semi black sperm and just mad black
and
sperm.
it's just a whole bunch of
But you
ninjas.
There's a man in Europe that recently got like banned from giving sperm because he had 550 kids.
Oh, I know. I seen him. I
They wanted to fine him if he even wanted to donate anymore.
But that's it, because think about, what if you live in a small town?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
All the kids look like you?
Not even that. I'm definitely going to one of my cousins, my brother. Like, ew.
That's one of the words on the list.
Look at the words on the list.
She said she couldn't do pussies.
The seventh word.
That's why she put it right up on somebody. That's what I should have said. I want to make scissors with people.
She said she was bad with quizzes, so you got to look over that list one more time. Put your glasses on.
We shouldn't have talked about sperm this early. What did you think was going to happen?
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Get it up. This is your time to get it off your chest.
Keep calling.
800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The
Breakfast Club. I just decided to buy a piece of property. Use my vehicle correctly.
Well, congratulations, brother. That's what we do up here, man. We try to push people to better themselves, whether it's mentally, financial wealth, whatever it may be. But that's a great thing, and maybe I will stop through one of these days.
Come on, ownership.
Yeah, man. Envy, I'm waiting for you. DJ to DJ, man. I'm looking for you to, I'm looking for you to pull up.
Love, brother.
All right, no problem.
What's up, yo?
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. Now, when we come back, we got your rumor report. And since my ladies from Whoreible Decisions are here,
oh Lord,
we're gonna be talking golden showers.
No kink shaming.
I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you.
I hear the judgmentalness in your voice already.
I am not.
Your voice did get high.
My voice always gets high.
You're yellow, so you should be resonating with this kind of material.
But the golden shower?
She said you the color of dirty urine. Damn.
She didn't say dirty urine. She didn't say that. She just said urine.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that was a compliment.
You can drink some more water, if you're the color.
Exactly. All right, get it off your chest. Rumors on the way. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
We got our special guest co-host from Whoreible Decisions.
Hey.
On the Black Effect Network, y'all heard it.
There you go.
Hey.
All right, let's get to the rumors. Let's talk golden showers.
Rumor has it. Rumor has it.
Call out a name, or you gossiping, or you chatty patty.
This is the rumor report.
I mean, I guess we on The Breakfast Club. This is where the tea spills, right?
Right. On The Breakfast Club.
It's crazy how God works. We have Mandy and Weezy from Whoreible Decisions here. And there's actually a golden shower story in the news. You can't plan this kind of stuff.
You can't.
Now, why would you think that God wanted that?
I mean, God created all of this, by the way.
He did.
Listen, we didn't invent
God sure
pee.
did.
See, I looked at the word.
R where you put it. PR where you put it. Yes.
I'll tell you this. When we first started the show, I remember Mandy was the first that told her encounter with P, her golden shower story. And I was like,
oh, yeah, I do the golden shower thing.
Whoa, Mandy, let's tell a story.
Oh, go ahead. Let's talk about
the rumor report first. We'll get to that.
Actually, it has to do with Diddy. Didn't he want to mix it with Ciroc?
All right, hold on.
No.
Now, wait a minute. That's a new flavor, Ciroc.
Hit the intro. Oh, we played it already.
I've never heard that Ciroc flavor.
You got me confused and flustered.
Y'all know MVP flustered when we get into the kink talk. But it's okay.
So go ahead. So what happened with Diddy and Ciroc and
No,
P?
tell the real.
No, come on. I want to hear this more.
Okay. Well, basically, this is also coming from, as you guys know, Carisha sat down with the Jason Lee on the Jason Lee Show, where he asked a question about if she's really into golden showers, because she shared that on her podcast.
Yes.
Carisha, please. She did also end up just saying she just like to say stuff.
Well, we'll clear it up here. Let's go.
We do now. They got the report.
You like golden showers. Did you have you on Diddy yet?
See?
Maybe.
But do you really like to get on?
I just be saying shit.
You be saying shit.
It was a part of my card game. I gotta promote my Y'all better go get these Russian roulette cards, baby. I'm gonna spice it up. Like, what?
Because there's nothing sexual about getting on.
I mean, people got their sexual desires. It's a lot of shit that it's just like, I like to swallow but you swallow.
But you're not a swallower?
Mm-mm.
Why? I mean, it's definitely...
I like the way it tastes. And I feel like
I ain't had breakfast.
You just need to tell your man to eat different. It don't taste like nothing.
Not on me or in my mouth, no.
You don't like the man to on you?
No, I do. I was just like being funny.
What is this now? What happened?
First off, she said she don't like how it tastes. Ladies, if your man has a bad taste, tell him to change his diet.
Like more fruit?
Yeah, more something that ain't what
you know what also ruins it? Well, not pee. I'm talking about something else. What was that donut talking about?
Semen.
Thank you. Watching my words. No, like I remember dating a dude that had a lot of vitamins, creatine, supplements, and I was like, gee. It was acidic. too much. It smelled like pennies and iron. I felt all the vitamins coming out.
So what happened with the yellow dots, Charlamagne?
Hold on 1 second. Just if you're out there driving right now, yes.
Sorry.
You might want to change it, turn it down a little bit if you have young kids in the car, because I don't know where this conversation is about to go.
I was about to say, how you think they got here?
What's the yellow dot?
The kids need to know how they got here. It's called science.
That is true too, though. So what happened with you and yellow dot?
Okay, so she actually confused.
Yellow dot. There's no yellow dot.
Nah, she actually confused the story about squirting with the golden showers.
Okay, all right.
But
keep going, guys.
That's not on the list.
No, I mean, golden showers. It's funny that she said that there's nothing sexual about it. With a lot of kinks, intercourse doesn't have to take place for someone to be aroused by it. Golden showers was introduced to me. I had a partner that wanted me to do it to him. It took me a long time psychologically. Sex, again, is a lot more psychological than it is physical in the realm of a lot of things. And for whatever reason, this is what he wanted, and it took me forever to do it. Like, so I had to go
stage fright, man.
Yeah, it was stage fright. I had to go sit on the toilet, act like I was gonna pee on the toilet, then hold my pee and go back over to the shower because he was laid out in the shower because we didn't want to wet the bed up.
Now that's class.
Doesn't that kill the vibe though? Like,
right.
What kills the vibe?
You run to the toilet and then you got to run back.
Ivy, have you ever had sex in a shower?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in an element to be,
by the way,
to be kinky.
Yeah, and if you like getting peed on, I don't think nothing can kill you. All right.
I guess you're right.
Come on.
I don't like that Carisha said there's nothing sexual about it. So what? I'm platonically just peeing on it. Like, I don't really like that.
Platonically peeing on people.
Like, what's up, girl? Hell no. I better be leaving with something.
Now, I will say, we talked about the taste of semen earlier.
Correct.
This was great talking about taste of semen
Thursday.
with you guys.
It's almost a weekend, whatever.
Because I'm sure y'all have tasted your own, because that's what men should do as well. However, when it comes to when it comes to pee,
wait, you guys should wait. We should table this. Y'all have never tried it.
No.
I don't think, first of all, if we did, that'd be a hell of a rumor for rumor report. But that never happened. Why? Why would
you mean, like, can I say this? Put man milk in my hand. I can say that. And then lick it?
Yeah, just to try
Nah,
it.
B. Nope.
Okay, so it never just shot up in your face on accident?
No.
All right. Anyways, back to
that kind of scream.
All right,
man.
back to science.
That's a lot of volume, by the way.
I will say that's
a gift.
That's one of the things that you have to do as well. Like, you want to make sure your bladder is full if this is something that you're going to do, but also drinking a lot of water. Because pee, of course, if you're not drinking or you're not hydrated, then there is a smell. There's a color. That's not great.
How did this turn into a pee tutorial?
I mean, we're bringing the science to it.
I will tell y'all this though. The good thing
A
about
tinkle
being
tutorial. What happened?
I'm sorry, BET. I don't know.
First of all, we're supposed to be helping people. You said no kink shaming, didn't you?
That's true. That is true.
And you kind of shaming over there.
So the good thing is, and I only learned this from when I was trying to pass the drug test at my corporate job. I was like, let me get this weed out. Literally, you could drink, I think it's like 32 ounces of water, and right after that, you'll literally turn clear. You just have to drink it within a 2-hour time frame.
Oh, so you applied that to now peeing on people.
Hello?
I ain't gonna hold you. The one shocker,
tomato.
if y'all have not done it yet, it's hot. Now I know the body is hot. I forgot how hot. Pee is hot, baby. So if it's cold, if it is in the wintertime, you might want to do it in the wintertime, especially if you in New York
That is
City
true.
and your heat ain't hit on. Y'all know they control it with the building.
I felt like that when I first heard Young Miami say that. I'm like, it's too hot to be doing that in Florida.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah, you're right. All right,
guys.
I did think that. I really did think that.
There was another story we'll get to later.
We'll get to it later.
Plies, he's telling Biden he should pass a stink poom poom law that, there's too many poom pooms out there that stink. So that fits in the whole
Man, y'all
thing.
got every story just for y'all.
This
story is tailor made for horrible decisions this morning.
Well, we appreciate that the news worked out in this way, but I will say, ladies, look into some natural resources for getting
Next
your smell
time.
right.
We'll talk about that next
talk
time.
about next time.
Next hour.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Spent too much time on pee. My bad, y'all. Guess it's going to keep being stank.
Now go use the bathroom.
Well, if you're listening, we have front page news next, and the Isley brothers will be joining us. So you can turn your radio back on. I promise we won't be doing no kink shame or anything with the Isley brothers, right?
Yeah, because pee ain't contagious.
I don't think so.
No. I don't
So
think
they don't pee every day? Who knows what they into?
Oh, my goodness. All right. Front page news next. Don't move. Tesla and Figaro will be joining us, and the ladies from Whoreible Decisions are here. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Your company has goals this year. Find the right people to help you achieve them with ZipRecruiter, where 4 out of 5 employers get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/breakfast. That's ZipRecruiter.com/breakfast.
Everybody, it's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now let's get in some front page news. We got our guest hosts, Weezy and Mandy B from Whoreible Decisions here. And of course, Teslin Figaro, who holds us down with front page news. Now, start with sports quickly. 121-87, the Celtics beat the 76ers. And let's get right into it. Now, I seen yesterday a New York City subway rider was killed. A man put him in a chokehold.
Yeah, this is a very unfortunate story that's going on in New York. Jordan Needley was allegedly throwing trash on a subway, yelling at passengers, acting erratically. Witnesses said that he was yelling, "I don't have food, I don't have anything to eat, and I'm fed up." So things quickly escalated. 24-year-old Marine tried to subdue him by putting him in a chokehold and held him down, so long that unfortunately he lost his life. Now, this 24-year-old was brought in for questioning, but no charges have been filed as of now, and activists are very upset by it. If you guys have saw on social media, people have been talking about it. I know some activists have been developing protests around this and really, trying to demand that there's some type of justice. The mayor's office did release a statement as well, saying that there are serious mental health issues in play here, and that this is why it's important that they continue to make investments in mental health. And just, again, we talked about this earlier in the show about veterans and the inability that a lot of them have to transition in civilian life. So again, this was a Marine that was also recently released from the military. And again, I'm not advocating saying that, that was justifiable or he shouldn't have did that. But just as a veteran myself, I just want to remind people that we cannot get enough resources to help military veterans transition mentally. Now, this is, again, I'm not assuming that he had a mental issue or anything like that. I just think it's a great conversation to have.
I mean, clearly it was something wrong. You know what I mean? I don't think you just wake up in the morning and decide you're going to choke somebody out if they weren't doing anything.
I would love to get more details, though, because one of the reasons why I don't ride the train, and I will never ride the train, and my daughter goes to school in New York City, and I don't allow her to ride the train, is because as a kid, I would have to take the train to go to the city to go to work. And I've seen so many things on the train. I've seen people get their face slashed. I've seen people attack people on the train. So I'm very wary about the train. And I always think about if somebody attacks me on the train or does something where I feel like my life is in jeopardy, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. So that's why I tell people, make sure we get the full facts of what happened before we make a judgment call. Because
that's true.
Sometimes on that train, ish happens.
I didn't watch the video. Did y'all watch the video?
I did, but everything you just said, right? Your life is in jeopardy when you get into a car. Your life is in jeopardy when you go to the mall, when you go to a store, your kids when they go to school. So to me, being not a New York native, from Florida, having been on the train and rode it going to work every day, 6 train all the way down. To me, you see homeless people on the train, you ignore them. I don't think I've ever feared for my life. So for him for him to put him in a chokehold to where he lost his life, I don't think that's how that could have or should have been handled.
I mean, even throwing food, I've seen stuff like that. What do? You get in another car, roll your eyes. It's almost like the plight of a New Yorker is dealing with somebody like that.
I saw the video though. What happened in the video?
I didn't see the video. What happened?
From what we can see from the video, and again, story's still developing. So what I watched in the video, that guy did hold him in a chokehold unnecessarily for a long period of time, and you could literally see. And again, going back, and this is a Marine, and I don't mean to, talk about certain branches of the military, but just again, as a veteran, there is a lot of veterans have this. I'm going to rush in and save the day, or I'm going to rush in and stop the situation. And from what it appears, this guy was not a threat, and he held him down, and just literally choked him out.
Was he bothering anybody? Was the guy bothering anybody?
He was yelling like that. He was fed
up. He was
hungry.
Somebody in New York.
Everybody,
but
he was hungry.
So. Exactly. So yelling's not a reason to put somebody on the ground and restrain him and choke him out, for an extended period of time. I mean, you could literally see him choke the life out of him.
What's crazy though, if that's the case, not one person intervened. Like, I understand folks wanting to mind their business and you really don't know what's going on, but nobody
so that's what New Yorkers don't do.
Like,
New Yorkers don't intervene.
Nobody told them to stop. Like, nothing.
No, they were helping hold him down. Right? They were intervening, helping him hold him down. Nobody was intervening, saying, "Okay, that's enough.
That's enough."
So that's why I said, is there more to the story? Because the little clip I seen, there was a couple people on him. Holding him down, which seems seems weird. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I said
I didn't know that part.
Maybe there's more to the story. I don't know. But like I said, remember, my wife got slashed in the face on some wild shit. So when it comes to people, I don't play with people. people don't play with me. Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. Because if you come in my space, I'm going to defend myself to a point where I don't know what you have on you.
But what's your space? Is your space considered the train car?
If I'm sitting in my chair, don't come in my space. Don't come over me, around me, touch me, nowhere near me.
But
That's how I feel.
But why put your hands on? For me, I leave. Do not walk away. Even if I'm like walking down the street and I see people arguing, I'd be like, let me go the other way.
I've seen people on the train follow people to other cars. Like, I've seen wild stuff on the train. The reason why I don't take trains, but I don't know what happened in this case, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't have all the information.
Yeah, I don't have it all.
That's what I'm saying. I wish we could get all the information to see what actually happened before everybody gets mixed. I don't even think the guy was charged. Yeah.
No, he hasn't been.
Well, let's also keep in mind what color he was.
What color was he?
White, and it's a black man that he choked to death.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yep, a white man choked out a black man.
I didn't know that it was more than one person holding him down. Though. When you say that, it makes me like wonder, well, what else happened?
I think there was like a total of 3 people.
Well, let's just keep in mind if there was a black Marine that was choking out a white homeless man, do you not think he'd be charged by now?
Absolutely. So again, these stories happen, and then we don't have all the facts yet.
Yep.
You know, and I'll definitely stay on top of this and see what's going on. But just from what I could see, you know, what they were spreading around on social media, he certainly held him down for a long period of time. And it just kind of reminds me, just as a side note, you remember when I came to the Breakfast Club and was advocating years ago for Donald Neely. Remember the mental illness guy?
Yep.
Remember, and this guy's name is Jordan Neely. So it just kind of reminded me, and they put a rope around Donald Neely's neck and paraded him through Galveston, Texas, for those who are not familiar with that story. But it just reminds me again, here we are again, how do we deal with our mentally ill, Americans, and how do we fix that, and how many investments can we put in it? Will it ever stop? Of course not. But there's a lot, that New York has obviously been talking about this for years. So
yeah, and I think
that man definitely shouldn't be dead. Though.
No, he should definitely shouldn't be dead.
3 people could have just, if he was threatening them like they said, 3 people could have just held him down.
Yeah,
until the police came.
And we need more. I don't even want to say police presence, but you need police presence and presence of people that can actually help in those situations.
I thought they did.
I ain't gonna hold you. You can tell you ain't been on the train. The police is there.
I thought
They are there.
I've been in the
scared
train
to
a long
smoke
time, and I
legal
won't go back.
weed. There's so much police.
There is so many police, and they have the undercovers, the police presence.
That's why they were holding for 15 minutes, and for 15 minutes, nobody came to help.
That's what I thought. I swear, I thought Eric Adams put more police on the
there is
subway.
police there, but the police aren't in every train cart. This took place on the train. This took place on the train.
15 minutes, and nobody could call somebody, because it wasn't like 3 minutes. 15 minutes, they said. Well, I know, Taz, I know you had another story, but we got to go.
No, this was a great discussion. No, I'm glad to be here. But get the whiteboard out for the ladies on the words what they can and cannot say.
Envy is adding words
got
now.
another 30 seconds real quick.
They're adding it every 30 seconds.
I really want to just say, just to bring it to another part, just some kindness goes a long way. I used to live on 54th and 8th when I was going to work back in the day, when you remember, when we had regular jobs.
On Wall Street.
Okay. And I will say, I would even make packages for people that I was about to see, homeless people down there. If I had to-go food from the night before, I'd bring it with me. Anytime I go to a hotel, shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, just carrying those little things for you all that live in a city where you see people. Keep it in the trunk. It goes a long way. And sometimes that little bit of kindness will really keep somebody from being hungry. And I'm not saying he deserved to berate everybody on a train, but I can't imagine being hungry for days.
He didn't deserve to die.
Yeah.
No, he definitely didn't deserve to
die.
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, thank you, Taz. See you tomorrow.
And make sure you subscribe to Tezlyn Figaro's podcast, The Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network.
All right. Now, when we come back, the Isley Brothers will be joining us. So we're going to throw it back a little bit with the Isley Brothers.
Yes, indeed.
Throw it back? We can throw it back with the Isley Brothers.
Well, not that type of.
I'm sorry.
Not that type of throw it back.
They got money.
They got money. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Get recorded, twist and shout, and they watched us. And my father always wanted us to be self-contained. Ernie started playing drums, and then he went to playing guitar. Then my little brother played bass. Then my brother-in-law was playing keyboards. And we became that self-contained group.
Your father said, let's not pay anybody on the outside anymore.
Daddy said, keep all the money. Now, was that Ernie, was that self-taught, those instruments?
Yes.
Wow.
I started with drums first. Yeah, at the time, Jimi Hendrix was living at the house, and he was playing.
Just go throw that name out there.
Throw that in there.
Just go throw that name out there.
Yeah, he was there, March of 63 to November of 65.
Why was Jimi Hendrix just living at your house?
Well, he was a guitar player, Okay. And so, We watched him. Ernie watched him. We didn't know Ernie was going to wind up playing guitar because he was playing drums at the time. And later on, Ernie started playing the guitar. And when I wrote the song, It's Your Thing, Ernie picked up his bass and started playing a bass. I said, hey, you need to play bass on this song. And he played bass on It's Your Thing from that time on.
And did you have the problem early on with owning your own masters and stuff like that? Did y'all own that, or if not, did y'all get it back?
Yes, we own some of them. It started a record company, T-Neck Records.
It's your thing.
And all the way up into this point now, I have another company, which is RI Top 10, and it owns everything.
How do y'all only own some of it? Don't the masters go back to you after a certain point?
Well, it's all according to what you signed.
Gotcha.
We had certain clauses in our contract that after 10 years, it all would come back.
Y'all should have been in debt 8 times already, right?
Hell yeah.
That's right.
7 decades in the music business.
Oh, man.
That's good to have you. I mean, what's going on with Ed Sheeran and this Marvin Gaye situation? Have you all, I don't know if you know what's going on, but Ed Sheeran is being sued by Marvin Gaye's family over sampling. Have you all ever heard something and you were like, wait a minute.
That's us.
Right. That sounds like us. Have y'all ever been like, wait a minute?
Well, the rappers always had respect for our work. I love it when you call me Big Pop. That's Between the Sheets.
Between the Sheets, yeah.
Today Was a Good Day. Ice Cube, that was Footsteps in the Dark. There's a very strong association.
We have more samples than anybody in the industry. Over 1,000 samples.
Do you have to clear everything? Do you listen to it before it goes?
Yes, we have to clear.
And it's legal sample out there.
So when you heard Biggie, right? The first time you heard Biggie, right? I'm sure Puff called y'all. And y'all heard the stuff that Biggie was talking about. What was your first mind frame? Because I'm sure was it Puff that called you?
We flipped out.
Yeah.
We flipped out.
Yeah, first time I heard it, I knew he had a hit. Because it was done in such a signature way for him. I'll see some ladies tonight because you be having my baby. I started laughing when
the whole thing.
But I knew it was a hit. I knew it was a hit though.
He didn't reach out though. He didn't reach out beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But you knew it was a hit.
We had the studio together. We were talking about doing. He wanted to do other records with us. Oh,
you was in the studio with Big.
Yes, and Puffy. Puffy did a couple of records with us. So
then you turned to villain, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah.
For a long time, that's what everybody looked at you as, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah.
So how was that? Whose idea was that? Was yours? It was Kel's? Or
R. Kelly wrote the song, Keep It on a Down Low. And he said, I wrote this song. I see you doing it. And my mother wanted you to do it. And so I listened to the record.
Did you know who he was at the time?
Huh?
Did you know who he was at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had out, I think Body calling me or something. And so his mother was a big fan of ours. So she had told him all our songs. And so we got together to do Down Low, and he said, I see you being Mr. Big. we're going to come in, we're going to do this video. I want to hear your foot when you come in the studio. That's how the video was. R. Kelly is really a genius, man. And we're doing music, and we did other songs, Contagious. #1 albums with him, and sold millions of records.
Any fear at the time because you were Shout and you were Between the Sheets, and now you were the villain, and Mr. Biggs, with the cane, with the sword on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my brother gave me the cane. My brother took a picture with the cane.
Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph. I didn't know about the cane. We would wind up being a video talking about, you gonna hit me with the cane, But hey, man, it's been wonderful. Let me say, we watch you guys. I know everything that you do.
Thank you.
And I think what you're doing is so great, man. And never stop doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, amen.
Thank you.
I feel like you've been the villain before, though. I'm sure some man has approached you about being with a woman. I feel like that's happened.
Brothers, though.
Yeah, a lot of brothers. I don't know about that.
Now, what does tour life look for y'all, after all of these years? It ain't like it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. What does tour life look for y'all now?
We wouldn't know what to do if we wasn't doing the tour or we weren't singing. And then seeing the response from the people, you know. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't do that.
All right, we got more with the Isley Brothers when we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with the Isley Brothers. Who was your biggest competition back then, if there was any? Black competition.
James Brown.
James Brown.
Sam Cooke, you know, Jackie Wilson. Oof. When we were on the show with them, they couldn't go on, man. When we did that song, we shut it down. You know, so
when y'all wrote music, was y'all trying to be like, no, we need to make a record that they know that they can't follow?
That's what we were looking for, and we hit that when we hit "It's Your Thing," and from that point on, it went. Hey,
what inspired that? Because that was kind of like the Bobby Brown, My Prerogative of that era.
Yeah, that was a dream that I had. I said, when I woke up, I started humming the song. I said, no, it's not going to get away. And I went down to my mother's house, and Ernie was there. He picked up his bass. You know, I said, I got this song, me and my brother, and I sung it for him. It went in the studio, and I did it one time in the studio. Sang it one time while the band was playing. And then they say, well, it's time to do our part. I say, hey, I already did it.
So it came to you in a dream? It wasn't like a phrase y'all was saying or nothing like that?
Came to me in a dream. And at the time, people were saying, it's your thing, do your thing. That, you know, that expression was out. But came to me in a dream, you know.
Now, what about Between the Sheets? How was that song?
Yes.
Between the Sheets, there's a commercial you used to watch. You can still see it on your computer. Chanel No. 5. Woman was at the far end of the pool, and the guy was at the opposite end, and he dove into the water, and he came up through her leg, and they said shared a fantasy. And I always liked that commercial. And I had my guitar with me with the sound down, and I thought, what would the music be like? And I started playing the chords to Between the Sheets.
Genius. Genius.
And then we got into the studio, Marvin and Chris, and he said, hey, man, okay, you got any lyrics? I got the music, but you got any lyrics? I said, yeah, hey, girl, ain't no mystery, at least as far as I can see. I want to keep you here, laying next to me, sharing our love. And I was stuck, and Chris picked up a legal pad and said, sharing our love between the sheets. I said, there you go. And Marvin polished off the rest of the song lyrically.
Wow. What was the young lady that gave you that inspiration besides that? Because you see,
no, you see,
oh man, what was her name?
You see, like that's, you know, when I refer to that person as my muse.
Okay.
You know, so that could be anyone. That's right. It could be one of my guitars. For example, I think of all my guitars as female.
Have you ever written a song for someone else and then said, dang, should have kept that song?
One time, you know, I think we were thinking about the money, and I said, hey, Aretha Franklin should do It's Your Thing. And so we were trying to get $15,000 for it. Aretha Franklin was late at the studio, and she didn't come in.
Damn, so Aretha Franklin was going. She took the record.
No.
You wanted her to hear it.
Yeah, get it. No, she was one of my girlfriends at the time.
You dated Aretha too?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's talking about y'all ain't hear him play it. He didn't say that was his girlfriend. He said that was one of his girlfriends at the time.
At the time.
So she was mad at you and she didn't show up.
She was late in getting to the studio, and she didn't do the song.
How do you fix that argument later on? Because
I know you cursed her out.
Yeah. Or did she curse you out for giving away her record, taking her record?
Yeah. How many girlfriends did you have back then?
Yeah, I got some.
I don't know, man. I was so young, man, and it wasn't like the girlfriends that you guys have now. You know, it was just like talking about music, and she was.
You sticking with it?
Yeah, you know, it wasn't like
y'all weren't between the sheets, is what you're saying.
You know. I have on my telephone from that time to now, Aretha Franklin, we talk maybe 2 and 3 times a week. Even when she died, you know,
y'all was talking.
We were the best of friends. Okay. My wife suggested that she used Jennifer Hudson in a movie. And I said, well, I thought you were going to do Halle Berry. He said Jennifer would be the person for a movie. Jennifer came to see her that day, and she sang a song to her. So you know what that song is? And Jennifer said, She said, that's one of the Arce Brothers songs. It was the last song she sung.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, first,
that's how tight we were.
I look at this and I look at the span of you all, how long you've been. What if you could just? Is there a story of the craziest thing someone did on stage to get your attention, or in the audience? Because that'd probably be something I did, chase the tour bus or something like that. But was there ever anything? Did anybody throw anything on stage? Jump on stage? Were there ever?
I'm sure I was on the stage singing Lucille, and I fell on my knees and had my eyes closed, and a lady threw a dress over me.
What?
No underwear.
I thought you were going to say something else.
What it smell like?
Never mind.
Was there any songs that y'all did that y'all didn't believe in, but it ended up being a hit?
When I came down to the house for them to do the song "Love the One You With," they said, "Hey man," I said, "Hey man, we gonna do this song. That's what we gonna do," and it was a smash for us, you know.
Why you didn't like it? Right?
No. Well, to be honest, I think at that time I was growing into whatever musician or songwriter I was eventually going to be. You know, a lot of times, whatever you're going to do in the future, you can't see, but you'll have a feeling. You know, you don't know until you do it.
You know, you listen to all your music and nothing sounds the same. Was that something that you made sure that you focused on and make sure that nothing was ever similar? You know, because Shout didn't sound like Between the Sheets, which didn't sound like it was totally different, you know?
I remember when CBS first heard That Lady, they said, well, it doesn't sound like it's your thing. It doesn't have trumpets or saxophones on it, but we like it. That you got elements of R&B, dance, funk, but you also got a lead guitar sound on there. That's unusual.
That was the time that Clyde Davis signed us. He was the one that listened to it, and he had a serious ear. He knew what a hit was, and he did say it should be another verse. We went back in the studio, and Ernie wrote another verse because it needed 3 verses.
At that time, yeah.
And then when we came back, Sony fired Clyde Davis for some bar mitzvahs or something he gave and this and that. We said, well, hey, we just signed it. And don't worry about that. Your record will be out so and so and so and so and so. And while we were arguing about Clyde Davis, record went #1, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There was a time that you and, of course, the Arce Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire, I mean, y'all were at the top of the top. These two groups, did you all become friends? Did you know each other at that time?
Oh man, my brother was crazy about them, and you know, I thought they was like so creative. My brother was friends with
Verdine. Marvin and Verdine.
Yeah,
being
just
both bass players
all the time. When they had
That's the Way
of the World. We would have had our record out at the same time, our biggest album, which was the Heater Song.
Would Fight the Power.
But my brother was arguing with me, the brother Rudolph, because he said, it's another song we should have an album. When I was back, no, we're going to have 6 songs. And there's 3 slow songs in the album on one side and 3 on the fast side, Fight the Power. So we were arguing back and forth. And that argument went on so long. And we didn't release our records at the same time. But anyway, their record was so successful, and our record was the biggest we ever had.
All right, well, don't move. We got more with the Arce Brothers when we come back. And Kim Whitley's joining us as well. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with the Arce Brothers. And with all these records that you've written and produced and sang, and I mean, you keep talking about records, and I'm like, damn, that's a lot of records and commercials and all that other stuff. Was there ever a time where things got tight at all in the industry?
No.
Always torn.
Well, when Marvin Gaye came up with Sexual Healing, we came up with In Between the Sheets. When Teddy Pendergrass did Turn Off the Lights, which we took him on tour with us all the time, and Close the Door, we came up with
Don't Say Goodnight.
Don't Say Goodnight. And we would call him on the phone, hey, so we'd laugh and talk about that.
Y'all was making diss records to each other.
This record back then, right?
So it was all friendly competition between all the legends.
Yeah. Oh, No.
Oh, keep going. You're not gonna just throw that out.
There was people that y'all actually had real beef with.
I'm sure the beef is dead now. So
Right.
The one beef I did wind up having was with Michael Bolton. When he did
Love is a Wonderful Thing.
He did one of our songs, and we went to court for so many years. We won that case, and it's in the book of Guinness because it's the biggest money case that
he had to pay.
Yeah,
So he just went out and sung one of your songs.
Yeah.
Just
Love is Wonderful.
But he did. But he wasn't trying to get
And I wanted him to, hey man, let's settle this. They didn't want to settle, and we went to court, and he had 100 lawyers, and we won the case.
Damn colonizer. He just gonna come in.
Oh, he sued his lawyers.
Then he sued his lawyers out for losing.
I think that case was for $8 million.
Jesus. Did he ever pay? Did they ever pay all the money? You got all your money?
Yeah, that's why they didn't have any problem.
Yeah, that's why.
One of the reasons. Ernie, do you think R&B is dead? I meant to ask you that earlier.
No.
Okay.
No. Not as long as there's all of that music waiting to be discovered or rediscovered. And of course, we have a lot of divine grace still being here. And with our track record and the way that we pursue the music ourselves, it's anything but dead. It's more alive now than ever.
Now, do people call you, or do you call, like Beyonce, or do people call you, or you call them? Like, how does that magic come together constantly?
Well, I called her. I called her. We were talking about doing the song early in her career, but I called her mother. When her mother called her, and she said yes. She's a beautiful woman, man. That's the biggest record for her right now. R&B right now.
Oh yes,
it's still number one in California.
I hear it all the time. I love it.
I wonder what inspires y'all now, because when you speak about how y'all were inspired by Marvin and Teddy Pendergrass, like who do y'all look around to now and get inspired by?
Wow, I look at it's some of the rappers still that we're doing records with now. Takeoff and Quavo did a record with us, and we were talking about what we was gonna do and what his death came about. Man, it's just
So y'all did a record with him on his project?
Oh no, on ours. Yeah, on ours. And we did a record with 2 Chainz. Then we did a record with Rick Ross. Then we did with Snoop Dogg. I already Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, I did a couple of songs with him. We won the Grammy.
I Love Yourself.
I love that record too.
Yeah,
on that record.
Like it was like Who's That Lady? Right.
What happened to like the other members of the group? Did it ever sadden y'all that y'all look? It's just y'all two now.
Well, my older brother passed, and my younger brother passed. My brother Rudolph, he decided to go into his ministry. So, it's just me and Ernie now,
Do y'all ever feel peerless because, so many of your peers have transitioned?
I think about my brothers, and I think about, it's not a day that goes by without me thinking about my older brother, because he's incredible, I think about him being in heaven and watching,
sending down prayers for us.
Watching over you brothers.
Amen. Yeah,
absolutely. The family bond.
What about artists? Other artists that y'all might have been close with that transition?
I think about people like Sam Cooke. Marvin Gaye's a very good friend of ours. Jackie Wilson was very, very close to us. James Brown he was crazy about us. People like Burt Bacharach. I did an album with him. I think it was one of my best albums. He's singing his songs. He just passed. Michael Jackson, we were crazy about him, And I could go on and on. People like Jimi Hendrix and all.
Oh my God, I gotta get better friends. So
and Aretha Franklin was my best friend.
And Aretha.
When you started making all that money, right? Do you remember your first big expensive thing that you bought, and what was it?
Well, I remember our first gig that we made like $500 between the brothers, just the three brothers, and we went to one of those thrift shops.
Thrift shop, yep.
Man, I went in there and we all bought different suits, and we thought that was
$500.
About $500.
Wow.
That was suits was $10. $20.
Yeah.
You bought 10 of them.
Yeah.
Right. That was what you remember. Look at that.
And
That was a great feeling.
I wanted to know, when the Versus thing happened, how did that come about? Who called you and said, this Versus thing is going on, and what made you say, you know what, this is going to be a great idea?
Well, my friend Greg Walker, he called me and he talked on the phone for just hours and hours saying, y'all should do this. And he called Switz, and I talked to Switz, and we were talking over and over and over. I don't know if we want to do this. We had this record that, friends and family. And so I said, well, maybe we should do this. We said with Earth, Wind, and Fire, when they call them, they said yes. And we said yes. And then said, well, it's going to be. And then Steve Harvey called. I gotta be the
host there.
Yeah.
And it was good because families got to watch it. My young kids, my parents, so it was good.
Now, is it true y'all got your own liquor coming out?
Oh, yeah.
I know it's Burn.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right there. There you go, right there.
Yeah, I had it in my purse.
You had it in your purse? That's what you just put it out so fast?
Right. We got
it's brandy and vodka.
And we got
brandy.
And Contagious is the name of the brand.
The brown one.
That's brandy.
This vodka right here. Look at that right here. Look at that.
Ronald Isley liquid gold. How many babies you can make with this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Now we gotta ask. I'm looking in the corner over there, and I see a guitar just sitting there. And people don't bring guitars unless they want to use
Two guitars.
Oh, two guitars. People don't bring two guitars unless they want to use them. I mean, we got millions of people.
They're the Isley brothers.
We on BET.
Right.
I carry my guitars with me, like the character in Peanuts always has a piano. I do. It's a very secure thing for me.
Really?
Emotionally to have. So I knew we were coming here, so it's like, yes, I'll bring my guitars. I don't know whether or not I'll play them, but I just have them with me.
All right. Well, we appreciate your brothers for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, man.
We thank you so much, and thank you all you guys who contributed to this industry and to this world, man. Thank you, brothers.
Y'all are icons living,
absolutely.
man, in a real
Thank
way.
you.
Man.
Absolutely.
Well, it's the Isley brothers. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Yo, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy. I just want y'all to know that there's a spirited conversation happening behind the scenes between Ebony K. Williams and DJ Envy. Ebony will be here next hour. What up, Eb?
What up, y'all?
Okay. Very spirited conversation.
It was great.
Does Beige Rage come back?
Huh?
Does Beige Rage
Nah,
come
I don't
back?
think Beige Rage came back.
Man, you came back.
Ebony, huh?
You said I'll let you talk. I'm talking.
Was it there? The Beige Rage was there?
Beige Rage was
Ebony
there.
said the Beige Rage was there. Make sure y'all go get Ebony's book, Bet on Black, and we are going to do a bus campaign for Ebony's book. We're gonna put
Y'all about to see Ebony on the bus, y'all.
Listen, I feel like Ebony hates me now, but I really did feel like a bus ad. No, I said Ebony hates me now,
Ebony.
but I really do feel like a bus ad is like fun and funny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because Ebony's got her book, she's got her shows, she's got her podcast. Like, I'm telling you,
We're gonna talk to Ebony next hour, though.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to her next hour. But let's get to the rumors. Let's go.
Let's go.
Rumor has it. Rumor has it.
Call out a name, or you gossiping, or you chatty patty.
I'm gossiping.
This is the Rumor Report.
I mean, I guess we on the Breakfast Club. This is where the tea spills, right?
Yes, on the Breakfast Club.
All right. Now, ladies from Whoreible Decisions are here with us, Weezy and Mandy B. They're our guest co-hosts for today.
Hey, co-host.
They came up here and stepped in some ish this morning, huh?
Listen.
Ooh, it was fun to watch you fight.
Yo, shut up, man. Nelly and Ashanti are back together. That's what people are saying, and they're saying they're very happy after their 2013 split. They said that they were spotted together at the fight and a bunch of parties after, and even doing a performance together at a pool party. What do you guys think? Like it, love it, hate it, what?
And I mean, I'm here for a double back. I think that especially if someone put it down and you like them and you take some time apart and it doesn't work out, to come back together might make sense.
I'll tell you what, Ashanti fine. He saw some pictures. He grabbed that thing back.
Oh, yeah. She looking beautiful out here. I mean, we all kind of have championed J-Lo and Ben getting back together. I mean, I think it's the year of the double back. They waited 10 years and got back. So
what do they call that?
Spinning
the block?
They respin the block.
Okay.
No, wait, spinning the block is the respin.
Yeah, it's the respin. It's the spinning the block.
Respin
the block.
Respin the block.
Third time. We're just trying to keep up here.
All right. Now, Plies has a serious message. He hit Joe Biden yesterday.
He not serious.
Yes, he did. He said, Joe Biden, you should pass a stank poom poom law. Any poom poom stank, 30 days in the county jail, no bond, non-negotiable. Send this to Congress immediately.
You think Joe's seeing this stuff?
Yes.
Yes. No.
For some reason, I feel like we're so unserious as a country, and our government is so unserious that somebody in the White House would show him that.
Speaking of unserious,
look
y'all
what
think
said
he
about
can
you, President Biden. Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. Y'all, none of y'all really know how to pull the skin back. Sometimes there's a smell that's not only going to
Listen,
women.
I am circumcised.
Wait.
I mean, for every stank poom poom, is probably a man that got you there.
Boom.
Jesus Christ.
So you know what? Yeah, if you talking about sending someone or imprisonment or whatever, the man that got you there is
Men got to
definitely.
get blamed for everything. Why do men get blamed for y'all
Because you the
stink
damn
poom poom?
problem. Ladies, let me give you a tip.
Sometimes
You
men
the
mess
damn
up
problem.
the pH balance.
Yeah, y'all mess up the
Sometimes. Don't
Sometimes.
say men like that's the thing. Like just all men mess up.
So see, you added a word. We didn't say all men. We are
said-
speaking about women.
You said
We
men, though.
Men, but
so
I
you
didn't
gotta say
all.
some men. When you have to put some in front of men, because if you don't put some, then it's a generalization.
Well, I'll tell y'all what. Get some tea tree oil suppositories, clean that thing out. Let it melt overnight, get that stank out of there. And you know what? Matter of fact, why don't you sage the poom poom too? That helps.
Jesus Christ.
Not
Jesus.
Bad
saging the poom
energy
poom.
If you got to do all that, you got to keep it to yourself. If you got to sage your poom poom, if you got to sage your poom poom, you need to be celibate.
Okay, I'm going to be real with
get a
you.
rose.
Sometimes great. What's the word I can find on this?
Oh boy.
A great thing is hard to run from. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what bill I want to pass?
What?
Men who don't know their condom size. Fellas, if you out here putting on condoms that are ending up getting stuck in our poom pooms, making the poom poom have a smell, because now we got to go fishing because it wasn't your size to begin with.
Now, Mandy,
you
talking
should
now.
go to jail.
why is Mandy talking,
Now
right?
you need that's something you need to pass to President Biden. Now that's something.
Know your size.
Well, the larger issue with men not wearing their proper condom size is
That's
one.
not a large issue.
The smaller issue.
No, men that have bigger penises that wear smaller condoms, that's when it ends up popping, breaking, and you end up with an STD and or
And now
unwanted
you
pregnancy.
Amari talking about that ain't my baby. So sorry, go ahead.
And again, I apologize for everybody that got your kids in the car. I'm sorry. I should have warned you first.
We said poom poom.
Kanye, it seems like he's a troll. He's trolling Adidas, allegedly. They're saying that he just purchased a new place to have his headquarters, and it's next to an Adidas store in Los Angeles. People are saying he's a jokester. This is what he wants to do, and he just wants to make it known that he is continued better than Adidas.
No, he's just a D. I can't say the rest of the word.
Yeah, please.
He did the same thing when he moved out of the house with Kim and
Bought the house across the street.
right across
You know
the
how
street.
he really
so-
trolling? Walk around with them damn socks on. I was literally shopping at the Webster. Shout out to the girl there, and she was like, "Kanye was in here with no shoes on. He's trying out some new like sock type of shoe thing where it's like thicker sole." Like,
oh, that was real?
Yes, it's
I
real.
thought that was AI because I saw him. He had the leggings on.
No,
leggings
y'all
on.
saw the leggings.
Oh, I thought that was AI. You be doing those pictures of the Pope?
Kanye,
I thought that was
He
really
is walking
him.
around LA with no shoes on.
Kanye is thick out here looking like them girls that be wearing them leggings. I see you, Kanye, with your thick ass.
Leggings by Ye is crazy.
Leggings
by
He
Ye.
makes all his
Ye is
girlfriends
nuts.
wear them on their face, so.
That's a good point. That's a good point. He took the mask off his face and got him on his ass now.
Bro, I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest
my
with you.
goodness.
If I was out to eat in LA, and honestly, since I've lived in LA, I've learned so much. Like, these celebrities are really out everywhere. If I was out eating and seeing one of them girls with the stocking on, I would freak out because it's like a fetish in real life. That is absolutely a kink. And I realized I've been watching Kanye play his kink out in public.
And the Adidas employees actually was talking about how that man was making them watch porn in the office. So, listen.
Jesus.
We
All
gonna
right.
let him walk out here in his kinks because we don't kink shame.
All right. Well, that is your rumor report. Now, next hour, Ebony K. Williams will be joining us. We spoke about her the last 2 days about her comments on dating bus drivers and her double downing, and we're going to talk to her when we come back.
Which we should have done from the beginning, though. Because that's our people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Queen Ebony.
Yes. All right. And you got a donkey today? Who you giving that donkey to?
Oh, man, there's a man named Paul Belosi of Hicksville. He needs to come to the front of the congregation. We like to have a word with him. I didn't know people were still smuggling drugs in this way, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, is it a place that we can't say on one of these
It
lists?
has nothing to do with the body.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
yes.
Jesus
Christ. Why did that turn y'all on?
You said I said move so fast.
Because they do have to put a lot of lube on it to put it in. Okay,
Okay,
never
You know
mind.
what? They actually call that nature's pocket.
Go to commercial, please.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Pete Davidson is everywhere, and now everywhere includes Butt Kiss, his new semi-autobiographical comedy series on Peacock, also starring Eddie Falco and Joe Pesci. Butt Kiss screams May 4th only on Peacock.
This don't be a donkey, because right now you want some real donkey.
It's time for Donkey of the Day. So if you ever feel I need to be a donkey, man, hit me with the heat.
Did she get donkey today? Please tell me.
I have become donkey of the day.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
We're donkeys.
Yes. Donkey of the day.
Put your headphones on, man.
I am. Got to moisturize.
Come on,
Donkey of the
Lotus
day
shit.
for Thursday, May 4th.
Why are you so rough when you do it too?
Huh?
So
I know,
rough.
my dermatologist hates that, by the way. Okay. Donkey of the day for Thursday, May 4th goes to a 55-year-old man named Paul Belosi of Hicksville. I have no idea what Hicksville is, but I can only assume it's a town full of hicks. Well, this hick clearly believes in a creed that a great urban philosopher by the name of Pastor Young, Jeezy that is, once delivered, and that creed is trap or die. Okay, in this case, trap or fly, because that is exactly what Paul was attempting to do, because Paul is an American Airlines mechanic who worked at JFK Airport, and he was found guilty Thursday of trying to smuggle over $300,000 worth of cocaine stashed in a hidden compartment under the cockpit. Let's go to CBS News for the report, please.
An American Airlines mechanic has been convicted of smuggling cocaine through JFK Airport. Paul Belosi was found guilty of trying to transport 10 bricks of the drug from Jamaica in 2020. The cocaine was hidden inside an electronics compartment beneath the plane's cockpit. Prosecutors say the drugs were discovered when the flight was selected for a routine search by Customs and Border Patrol. Officers caught Belosi by replacing the 25 pounds of cocaine with fakes and waiting to see who would come to retrieve it. The mechanic faces up to 20 years in prison.
Come on, man. 25 pounds of cocaine trying to smuggle on a plane. Who still does that?
Y'all watch Cocaine Bear, the movie?
No, I never saw it.
Basically,
I heard about it.
it was a true story where a plane that was carrying cocaine crashed in some kind of forest, and the bears got high.
I heard about
and
it.
Went crazy. And honestly, like when you first said, "How do people still do this?" I don't see how they don't. I mean, literally, the fact that he did it's probably because he's been getting away with it.
Yeah, he's been probably doing this for a long time.
No,
He's
I
probably doing this
agree.
for a long time.
Yeah,
This
I
is
agree.
probably number 10
And what
for
kind
him.
of pit was it?
A cockpit.
Yes. Got him.
We in the building.
Jesus.
No, I mean, it's crazy because this is clearly happening. Did you see the BBL? The girls that just got a BBL, they got pulled over from a traffic stop, and literally she had to lay down in the back seat because her butt, she couldn't sit on it, and she said, "Can I just get away with a warning?" She was found. Oh God, I think they had 150 pounds of weed
in her BBL
in a Sienna van in their luggage.
Damn.
Oh, I thought it was in the BBL, man.
No, it wasn't in the BBL, but she's laying down in the back of the seat because she can't sit on her BBL.
I do
And now
agree.
she got to go to jail with her BBL.
I agree with a lot of what y'all saying, especially about the movie thing, because I feel like, Pablo Paul has watched one too many episodes of Snowfall. You know what I mean? Because smuggling cocaine in the plane's electronic compartment like it's a glove box in the car, that's kind of wild. You know what I mean? Is that why flights have 2-hour delays? Imagine hearing you missed your connecting flight because Paul was inspired by season 1 of BMF. All right?
That's crazy.
Now, I don't knock nobody's hustle, but when the hustle is executed like Tyreek in season 1 of Power, it's a problem. Okay? And Paul got caught because the police actually swapped out his drugs with dummy bricks that have a luminescent spray in them.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. What I'm trying to figure out is
So
how he
he
didn't
opened that
notice that.
thing and it just...
Yeah. But how you don't notice
It just
that?
came in his face? Is that how that happened? You said the illumination.
Whoa.
Weezy and Mandy are crazy.
I am so sorry.
Listen, man,
They're already dropped off in that school, right?
Yes, they are.
They are.
Hey.
The moral of the story is all of this drug dealing ends the same way. All right, either you get caught or you get killed. All right, did you not see what happened to Franklin Saint? Okay, there's not a drug dealer that wins. Ghost is dead. Okay, the stories are all different, but the endings are all the same.
You know what's a better job?
What's the better job?
Driving a bus.
Driving a bus. Listen, man, when it comes to drug dealing, no idea is original. Nothing is new under the sun. It's never what you do, because no matter how it's done, you will end up in jail. So please give Paul Belosi of Hicksville the sweet sounds of the Hamiltons.
Oh, now you are the donkey of the day. You are the donkey of the day. Yeehaw.
All right. Well, thank you, Charlamagne, for that donkey today.
That's right. Now,
And before we do, we have to close out. And shout to BET. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Our guys. Say bye to BET, Mandy and Weezy.
Bye, BET.
Oh, over there.
No, over there.
Look,
Over there.
We're not doing it.
All right. Everybody else, when we come back, we're going to have a real conversation. Ebony K. Williams will be joining us.
That's right.
We talked about her the last couple of days about the comments she made about bus drivers and then doubling down.
I think it's a bigger conversation than just the bus driver thing, too, though. You know what I mean? Because, she doubled down in her comments. I took it as she said that, the working class was average and mediocre. She feels like she didn't say it in that way.
I felt that way,
That's
too.
not what her intention was. So she'll be up here to talk about it.
Right, and we're going to talk to her next, all right? And the beige rage doesn't come out.
So the beige rage meter is going to be in this conversation?
I'm sure it will be.
100%. If you have good producers, that's all going in there.
We'll have that discussion next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
A lot of sex talk earlier today, but
And just so y'all know, off air, Envy in here lying, y'all, but I ain't gonna call him out.
What, he like pee?
No,
I mean, he was a culprit. He was involved in an activity that he ain't shared with everybody.
You was part of that activity, Charlamagne.
No, I was not. I had nothing to do with you and Ebony. Anyway, we got a special guest in the building as well.
We have a special guest in the building.
Okay.
Ebony K. Williams is here.
Ebony K. Williams.
Good morning, Breakfast Club fam. Good morning, Horrible Decisions family.
Hello, fam.
This is like a family reunion up in this piece.
It
right?
really is.
I feel like we about to start fighting, so let's just say we love each other now.
I actually feel bad. I actually feel bad, and I'm going to tell you why I feel bad, because I did two things this week that I normally don't do. Number one, if somebody I know is got something going on social media, we should have spoke to them.
I appreciate that.
And not about them. You know what I mean? And Ebony is our people. So I feel like we should have probably spoke to her. Reached out to her like we always do for everything else. And I didn't watch the full interview with Ayanla. I watched the clip online.
The good thing I reached out to you, my good brother.
Yes,
and we had a productive, spirited conversation.
Yes, we did.
And you rolled out the red carpet, and that's why I'm here today. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Now, did who watched the full interview with Ayanla in here?
I did listen to the full Holding Court episode
I listened to that as well.
with Ebony K. Williams and Dustin Ross. Of course, I saw the clips as well. And I as well responded on my podcast, See the Thing Is, and spoke about it as well. However, there was more agreement with you than not. And so I'm excited to have this conversation.
Ayanla was really the issue when watching it, though. Like, I mean, I made a comment on your page and Breakfast Club page, and men was jumping down my throat because I'm like, what does it matter what she wants to be with? But I think the other comments were tough to watch.
So here's the thing. I want to, first of all, as I started with my Holding Court episode, offer gratitude. Because I think what we know, the fact that this conversation with myself and Dr. Ayanla, shout out to my SOAR, it aired last week. And let's talk about what's happened since then. We've had a whole White House Correspondents' Dinner, which Roy Wood Jr. killed. Shout out to Roy. We've had the Met Gala. We've got a war in Ukraine and still a war in Sudan. And yet folks is still talking about this more than anything else. And I think that speaks to something, right? I think it speaks to the insatiable nature of the fact that we've got to have this conversation as black men and women. And we talking about the black family structure and black wealth building. And all of those are tenets that are tethered to why this has hit such a nerve and why it's reverberating, in a way. Tyrese posting about it, Jason Lee posting about it, the Shade Room posting about it, Spiritual World posting about it, Ava DuVernay in the comments, Viola Davis in the comments.
What was Viola saying?
We get to it. So that's a good thing. I want to start by that framework. Nothing about this is negative. People are disagreeing. People are feeling away. We're going to talk about it. But I want to start by the framing that this is, we cannot have rupture in the culture and not do the work of repair. So to me, this is a conversation about repairing and restoring what has historically been a productive, valuable conversation and relationship between black men and women that somehow, some way has gotten away from us.
Well, yeah, I think it's two different conversations. Like, I watched the full, I don't care who.
There's a lot of people that don't know what you're talking about. That might have just tuned in and have no idea.
So, Frank, go ahead, Frank.
Do they live under a rock?
Some people, because you have to tell people what you're talking about.
Okay. What are we talking about?
It's something from comments that, because I don't want to misconstrue, because we only had a small piece of your conversation with Ayanla.
Sure.
So during your Ayanla conversation, she asked you if you would date a bus driver.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus,
that's
Ayanla.
no. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver.
So let me back up for 1 second and be correct. I invited Iyanla on my Griot show. That Griot show airs on Byron Allen's network. The Griot airs every night at 6. Let's first of all start with this. Whole shit is y'all's fault.
It always is.
This whole shit is y'all's fault here at the Breakfast Club. No, love y'all. Y'all had Iyanla on. And Iyanla made a statement on the Breakfast Club morning show, and she said that a lot of young black ladies out here are men in skirts.
What is the distinction between feminine power and masculine power? And we've been conditioned and trained to be men in skirts. We do everything like men. We compete like men. Most women want their boyfriend to act like their girlfriends, chatting, shopping. But when the man comes home, what they meet is another dude.
Which you agreed with.
Which I found very provocative. Did I not call you that day? I said, this is spicy. I would love to participate in this conversation. And then you do what you always do, and you went radio silent. That's cool. So then I invited everybody that knows Charlamagne and is a loving relationship with Charlamagne. No, that's the shit pool. It's cool. I never take it personal. So it's cool. It's always love for 7 years. So then I said to my team, reach out to Iyanla. Let's book her. Let's bring her on the grill because I want to have the conversation and probably more productively, right, y'all? Black woman to black woman. Yep. Let's talk to each other. And also generation to generation. Let's talk to each other. Yeah, because she old. Yeah. Sorry. I was going to say season.
You should hope to get to that age.
That's it. Oh, no, of course. We know what the alternative is. I want to age. Amen. Gracefully, beautifully. Okay, so Iyanla comes on, and I say, this is the framing I say to Dr. Von Zon, to Iyanla. I say, sis, doctor, soror, talk to me about what you would recommend black women do in terms of our posture and positioning. When you're right. I am showing up in a posture of building, providing, and protecting my own self. I'm showing up in masculine energy, as you would call it. Yep. I'm conceding your point. But tell me how you would guide me to not do so when, I'll be honest, I don't really feel like I can trust that if I don't do it, that there's going to be adequate, keyword there, adequate provision and protection if I don't do it.
Which is how you said it.
That's exactly how I said it, right? And she said, beloved, would you date a bus driver? And then the clip goes. And then I did stare into the abyss because I wasn't really sure that moment. If he owned the bus. And that's what I said, Envy. But what people heard based on the comments, that I said bus drivers wouldn't shit. People heard that I said that bus drivers broke, don't make no money, ain't got no benefits, and that they were beneath me. That somehow was the interpretation of me saying that I will date a bus owner. Now, let me tell you what I actually said, and this is what the whole Holden Court was about. Go check that out right now where you get your podcast. Holden Court with Ebony K. Williams featuring Dustin Ross. I said on Holden Court, y'all, let me tell you why ownership is it for me. It's not about salary. Y'all made it about salary. Y'all started debating $125 a year versus $160 a year versus $200 a year.
Well, you did quote stats before you went into the thing with Iyanla, and you talked about women earn more money than men.
And I talked about black women buying more homes. We buy homes at single black women are buying 20% of the market share of new real estate on the market. I know because I just closed last summer and it was a show in underwriting. That's another conversation.
They're graduating more. They're in college.
Yeah. Highest rate of entrepreneurship.
Charlamagne, because Charlamagne, you guys do so much work on the Breakfast Club about what? HBCUs.
Yep.
And I was devastated when my good friend Eugene Scott sent me a post, Washington Post article that said black men are going to HBCUs 1 to 2. It's 2 to 1 for black women graduating. So these are things we got to look at because you have daughters and you have daughters and some of y'all in here got daughters. And if they're going to want to partner and marry men and black men at that, and they're going to want to build together, as you two cite your marriages as examples of, we gotta talk about how people can be equally yoked. So back to ownership, Charlamagne. I said ownership is key for me. Why? Not because I'm a bougie bitch. This is not about everybody being a Harvard surgeon. This is about this book right here, Bet on Black. You've read it, Charlamagne. Y'all were at the party. Y'all know what time it is. It's hard to be free in America as a black person when you don't own anything. And I mean that with my fiber in my being, and I'm going to prove it to you. My mother drove a bus as well, y'all. She drove a bus until she acquired a skill set. In her case, it was cosmetology. And this is not about shaming bus drivers, but I want to be clear. If you are driving a bus today, and that is the maximum of your skill set, I love and appreciate it for you. I have to, because it's an honest day's living. So this goes back to everybody in the comments. Well, my daddy drove a bus and he did this and this and he was respectful and he was a good black man. He was a great black man, I'm sure. I'm sure all the bus drivers are saints and none of them cheat and none of them beat women and they all are just God-fearing men that show up and how they're supposed to in this world. I believe
not all, but I'm sure.
But that's the narrative.
It's sarcasm.
That's the narrative. Yeah. And all people that dare to own, that dare to advance a skill set in a different kind of way, not a better way or a worse way, a different kind of way, they all have full-blown AIDS, beat their wives, and will die alone. That's the narrative.
What Tyler Perry movie is this?
That's what I'm saying.
It's Temptation.
It's very Tyler Perry.
It is.
All right, we got more with Ebony K. Williams. When we come back, it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Ebony K. Williams. And we also have Wheezy and Mandy B from Whoreible Decisions here.
What about the bus drivers that their goal was to own a home? And what if they came from something that necessarily wasn't the best education, and driving the bus is
I think we got to broaden the conversation. I think we keep using words like bus drivers.
This is what bothers me, to make it seem like bus drivers only drive buses.
Why would you talk about bus drivers?
Because let's generalize.
We can talk bus drivers. We could talk police officers. We could talk MTA workers. We could talk all these different people that work at these quote unquote average jobs.
Everyday working class people.
Now this is my problem, right? Now you know I do real estate and I do these seminars all across the country, right? We get thousands of people. The majority of people that own homes and investment homes are your quote-unquote average workers, your bus drivers, all your MTA workers. So they just don't drive buses. They have properties. I know a police officer that drives Ferraris because it's not from his police job. It's from the houses that he owns that he made off to the police job.
You sure it's not from the cocaine?
I'm
he's stealing
1,000%. No, I'm 1,000%.
I'm playing.
He has more properties than you, me, and Charlamagne put together. That's who he is.
That's a joke.
But they take it serious. But I know these people that do it, and they put in hard work. So when you said I wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owned his own bus, a lot of people felt it like, yo, that's disrespectful because just because I took a job, and a lot of people take those jobs for a couple of different reasons. One, the benefits, right? Sure. They know they can work for 20 years. After 20 years, they can retire and they still get their retirement and they still get their benefits. So after 20 years, they can. Most police officers, the same thing. They get their retirement, they can still carry their firearm, and they can still get their benefits. So I look at it as that's a great hustle. They work for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, let's say they start at 21. At 41, they done working the bus company, done being a police officer, done being MTA, and now they just making money on top of money. So it's value over values, right?
Envy, let me stop you right there.
It's not.
Do you think for 1 second, and I know you don't know me that well, but
Correct.
we've had enough conversation. I had you on Revolt Black News. You talked to me about your father, who was a leader in law enforcement. Do you think for 1 second I'm about to push back on anything you just offered in that statement?
You can.
Right.
Right.
So I cannot. And so what I'm telling you is, what you are applying now is not the facts as they were given to me. Ayanla did not ask me, Ebony, would you date a bus driver that also had a real estate portfolio? Ayanla did not ask me. Hold on now. Ebony, would you date a bus driver that also has a litany of franchises? Because you and your wife just bought 5, right? Six crystals? Crystal burgers. Okay. She didn't ask. That was not the framing of the question, Envy. Yep. Had that been the framing of the question, I would have said, Dr. Vons, where the he at?
So to date a man, you have to come with a resume to say all the properties that I own, or do you get to know that man and see what he's about?
But see, that's semantics now. But now it's semantics.
Here's the thing. Y'all didn't listen to the whole Ayanla interview.
Go ahead, Shar.
Ebony actually agreed with Ayanla. That's what's confusing me. Because you actually agreed with Ayanla when she talked about, you should be open to dating a bus driver. You can build with a bus driver. You actually agreed with that. So that's what's confusing me.
You agreed with Ayanla, then also conflated more and said, a loving man, someone that loves what they does. There was a whole lot of other things. So she agreed that, of course, I want a loving man. I want a man that's passionate. I want a man with a plan. All the other things that came after the bus driver is what Ebony agreed to.
Yeah, so I say, why let the griot put out a clip that is more salacious and out of context when you actually did
media.
agree?
Well, I'm not going to throw the griot under the bus. See what I did there? But what I am going to do, is say that we know the business that we are in. So you said something, Charlamagne, on the show yesterday. We're like, we're entertainers, and we have to not over index for our. Okay, so I want to be clear. My beloved, I'm actually not an entertainer. I'm not. I'm an educator. I'm an advocate. I happen to use the form of television, radio, and podcasting to do my work. See, we can't conflate platform with purpose. So why did the griot and the brilliant, talented team of journalists over there decide to use the bus driver clip, which is sensational and controversial? Because let's be honest, the griot is not getting the eyeballs the Breakfast Club is getting. Revolt Black News is not getting the eyeballs the Breakfast Club is getting, or The View is getting, or The Talk used to get. Because the nature of not just black culture, of American culture, is entertainment first. So when you start doing the work of educating around where artificial intelligence is taking the culture, where you start doing the work about where criminal justice reform, how this summer, the U.S. Supreme Court, y'all, affirmative action, as we all know, that is going. Know that. But no one is going to watch in the volume that we need to have the impact that I seek as a teacher in this world, Charlamagne, if we don't put out that clickbait. That's the reality.
So it was to bring attention to a larger conversation.
And guess what? What we know, because we all sitting here today talking about this shit a week later, is it worked.
It worked.
But then you came back and the next day people feel like you doubled down on what you said.
You don't feel like I did. I stood 10 toes down.
And what did you say when you...
I don't think that was standing down, though. I think you completely took a different turn.
I agree.
That was.
So?
I agree.
I actually thought it was tough to watch.
I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. But could it be that black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. No, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
What I watched, were you talking about people as a whole?
Right.
And even white supremacy, bringing up, calling...
Yes.
Saying average, to me, it felt like almost attack on the working class and the people that were in them comments more than it was the man you're looking for.
So let's address it, Weezy. I'm glad you brought that up because that is the turn that I took. So at this point, who gives a about who Ebony K. Williams is dating? Let's throw that over to the side because it's irrelevant.
That's your preference.
And
I agree.
And
Right.
Who gives a right? So now let's talk about my real work in this world. The work God has called me to do, which is to always sit in a posture of elevating, advancing, and offering options to black Americans for us to have a first-class existence. So when I talk about a permanent black underclass, that's something that I talked about in the response video that Weezy citing. A lot of people felt a way about that. What the does she mean, a permanent black underclass? What I mean is the data. So I sent Charlamagne a bar graph from the U.S. Census yesterday, and it listed about 15 different global identity. So again, you got to zoom out for this. This is not about black folks and white folks in America. This is global. At the top of that, y'all, this is earnings. Indian Americans earn more than anybody else in America. At the very bottom, black Americans. It's like they were earning about $100,000 per year per average. Not a few, not half. 100% of their average is 100,000 plus. We were down here at around 28,000, 30,000. Okay. Where are white people? In the middle, Weezy. They weren't up here. So that's why I have a personal problem with a lot of the culture saying that we should not have to be excellent. We talked about this, Charlamagne, yesterday on the phone. We should get to be basically as mediocre, as average as white Americans. For me, that's a no. I'm going to tell you why. I travel the world. Y'all all travel the world. Y'all are global citizens, and we're blessed and privileged to do so. I got news for y'all. White mediocrity is depreciating fast. So I'm not going to hold white mediocrity, white subpar, white averageness as a standard for the generation of black children we're raising today.
Well, what does America do without the working class?
First of all, it's not about not having a working class. It's saying that why do black people, I'm so glad you asked this, why do black people disproportionately occupy it? Now, you made a very good point yesterday, Charlamagne, talking about essential workers, okay? America found out, if we didn't know before, how essential our bus drivers, our MTA drivers, our home health nurses, our custodians, our grocery store workers were during fast food, all of it during COVID. And God knows we were ringing those pots and shouting them out, and God bless our essential workers. Nobody loves them more than your girl here. But you know what I don't love is that black folks died at a 2-to-1 rate of during COVID, that black folks were on ventilators more often during COVID. And part of the reason why that was the case, y'all, is because we over-index in the blue collar working sector, in the essential jobs. And many of us don't have the option that we all had, which was to do our jobs virtually. So we are on the front lines in a way that disproportionately makes us vulnerable. We're dying because of it. That is my issue.
All right, we got more with Ebony K. Williams when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Our guest hosts from Whoreible Decision are here. And we're talking to Ebony K. Williams. So, of course, everybody's been talking about this bus driver comment. Now, you've been talking for the last 20 minutes, and I feel like you're moving the goalposts, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy.
Envy,
that's a projection. Because
I'll let you speak. Let me talk. Go ahead, Envy. Yeah. So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this and the black man this and the white supremacy this and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
paging Dr. Umar, damn.
Well, let's address it, and let's not skip a beat. So I would love to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for, because we never had the conversation.
I don't know. I'm telling you what people are saying on comments, what I've read, and I'm talking for them. I'm not a bus driver. I'm speaking for the average person out there, because I feel for them, because the bus drivers and the average person are what keeps these lights on here on the Breakfast Club. That's right. They keep me booking shows.
Nobody is saying, okay, first of all, this is not about you booking shows.
I'm just telling you how I feel. So when you on the people that ride with me,
Envy, you're dead ass wrong for framing it as me shitting on them.
You don't think it was shitting on them?
First of all, I know it wasn't. I think what you're saying is irresponsible.
Envy,
I think what you are framing right now in this moment is highly irresponsible. Because if you listen, I'm going to tell you. Because if you were to listen to all of the full Iyanla interview, the full sidebar, the full episode of Holding Court, nowhere in any of that commentary did I say a cross or negative word about the working class of black America, of America broadly, or black men. I'm going to get to the why was my fiance. Envy, let me finish this statement.
Do you know what people feel?
I'm going to get to.
Just because you didn't mean to hurt somebody, just because you didn't mean to affect somebody, doesn't mean you didn't hurt a community. I can say anything about somebody and be like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you, because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that listen to this show, and they're hurt.
Ebony, what about words like average, mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry of low expectations? I think those are the words that hurt the working class.
You can sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there that buy your books and follow you and support you.
You asked me to be quiet. Y'all, please. Y'all asked me to be quiet. I listened to your full statement. I understand you have a feeling about it.
And now that you talked for 22 minutes, and I just spoke for 60 seconds.
She is here to talk to him.
I know, but I'm just saying, I just spoke for 60 seconds.
We got ours off already. Let Ebony talk.
I'm just returning what she said. But don't act like I didn't let her speak. She spoke for 22 minutes.
Go ahead, Ebony. Let her talk. Don't do that. Let her go. Go ahead.
So, Envy, this is where we're different. My primary focus and goal when I do what I do in the world is not to protect feelings. I'm going to be candid with you. I understand it's clear from the energy that there is an emotional attack that you felt was on black men, the working class, and black America. I'm going to hold the space for the hurt feelings around that. But more than I care about hurt feelings, I care about providing my people with facts and information that say that the current way of life for the majority of black Americans is not serving us. I'm going off of the data and the facts. I am not okay, and I don't think it's okay, that the vast majority of black Americans, again, overpopulate, disproportionately occupy spaces that are not ideal, that make us vulnerable. I talked about the COVID, that make us vulnerable to death, disease, maternal health, all the things that y'all all talk about on this show every day. Now, if y'all are okay with the current positioning of black America, that we are the lowest income, the lowest home ownership, the lowest educated group, then so be it. And let's just let's just stop talking now and keep on going about our business. Envy, I'm not okay with it. So that is why I said what I said about addressing the bigotry of low expectations. It's the bigotry of low expectations is the reason why I have to submit that black men are now going to HBCUs and college and generally at half the rate of black girls and women. I don't think that's okay.
Shouldn't we address the system that put us in these positions?
We are addressing the system, but first we have to name it, Charlamagne. See, that's where people's feelings are getting hurt, is the fact that I am naming it. I am saying that it is not okay to bring C's and D's to your home and then expect to go on to higher education and acquire a higher skill set. And when you say that, that is hurtful to people, Envy. I'm acknowledging the pain. But somebody has got to start telling the truth to our people. And some of y'all wonder why you get the political representation y'all get, because some folks would rather hear things that make them feel good than understand and hear the things that are the truth. So let's talk about average, mediocre, and typical. Because a lot of people felt a way about it. Well, I looked it up. I did the service of pulling it up out of Merriam-Webster. So this is not Ebony shitting on anybody, Envy. This is simply to say when you do something average, by definition, it is of typical value. It is normal and it is standard. When you are regular, normal, acceptable. When you are mediocre, that would have people real hot. It means ordinary, medium, commonplace, and moderate.
And the bigotry, don't forget the bigotry of low expectations.
I'm going to get to that. That's an academic study. Okay, so those of you that think that's George W. Bush, go do your reading. Go do your reading. But let's talk about those words, Charlamagne. Nothing in there says you ain't shit. Nothing in there says it's bad or low or beneath.
They've applied the negative connotation to those
That's
words.
A projection, and I'm not going to stand for it, because you need to be honest with the actual semantics in which we are talking about. So when you say regular, hardworking, everyday people, Charlamagne, that is rhetorically not any different than me saying average, mediocre work.
I disagree, because those words can be weaponized. Just like the word basic has been weaponized. I can call y'all basic. I can call y'all basic B's,
but that's
and y'all
what I'm saying. But there's a negative connotation.
You call me mediocre, I'm out the room.
But also,
see how I made a whole song called I don't want no mediocre.
But also, we've done that with the N-word. We've done it with the word whore. There's negative connotations to a lot of words, and if someone calls it to you, I get that. But
we reclaim the word whore. You were talking about something totally different.
But what I'm saying is,
nobody is reclaiming average and mediocre.
Even when she brought up C's and D's in school, academically, a C says you're average.
That's exactly what it means.
I don't know why that's a problem being average.
Because people,
Mandy, accepting
Mandy, I'm going to tell you.
I don't think essential workers are average. I don't think essential workers are average.
Let me finish this statement.
I don't think Uber drivers, bus drivers, I don't think any of those people are average and mediocre.
I'm not saying that the people are average. So let's slow it down.
I don't think the job is average.
The job is average.
I don't think
the job is average by definition. It says that most people can do it per the skill set. It also speaks to the income it commands. It speaks to scarcity and demand.
So that's what we're talking about. That are holding college degrees that have to drive Uber right now because
they're doing mediocre work. So Weezy, let me be very clear as to what I'm not saying. No, y'all got to listen to this. I am not saying that a piece of paper makes you a more valuable individual. I didn't say that. I don't believe that. I prove it to you. I let a lawyer go because when I was ready to go, where I was trying to go and vacation with him, your particular way of practicing law did not allow provision and protection.
But I think what's the real question is, if C's and D's aren't good enough, and you're saying that a higher education,
are good enough?
What I'm saying is, you're saying a higher education also doesn't mean that. Then what do they have to do to be excellent? Because
exceptional.
I'm someone who did have C's, B's, A's. I own 3 businesses. I'm sitting here with all y'all, and we all make 7 figures. Maybe I'm on the lower end of this as a mediocre person. It's like.
You don't know what I make. I don't make that kind of money.
Why are you lying? He probably makes 8.
Listen, you couldn't tell him about
But Weezy, did you hear about my story about my mother? Weezy, she doesn't have a college degree. My grandfather didn't, but she never did it.
I did hear about your mom.
Right, so she's not mediocre, but when she drove that bus, she was doing mediocre work. We can call her up and she'll say that.
My father was a military. He was a mechanic. He was a bus driver. He was a police officer.
So he was exceptional. Your father was exceptional.
My mother worked at Guardian Life Insurance. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, first person to graduate from college, and my parents put me through college. So I don't look at them as mediocre. I don't look at them as average. They are exceptional, and they did what they did to get their kids through all this stuff.
What you said is so different than what I'm talking about.
And I am the same with them. And I am the same. said,
that is
and the
just
difference,
not
and the difference,
intellectually
and
honest.
the
what you're
difference is
doing.
what you said is, oh, you want to encourage and you want to do this. I do the same thing without putting people down.
I'm not putting people down. I'm being very honest.
I think you are, and
Envy.
people have been saying, I don't think you're listening. Like, as much as you talk, you're not listening to what people are saying.
Listening. I'm not
You're
bothered by that, though.
You're not.
I'm not
because
going to
people
be
are hurt
shamed.
and they have opinions. Just like
I
you
am
have your
not
opinion, you can't talk over people and not let people talk.
But you also interrupting me, Envy.
I'm not. I was talking. You keep talking to me. I let you speak, and then I just started talking.
Okay, you got it.
I just started talking. I let you speak, and I waited for you to be quiet, and I started talking. You heard something that you didn't like, and you cut me off.
That's how it just went. Because once you start being intellectually dishonest,
here we go. Now it's not Envy. Go ahead.
Now,
No, that's exactly what happened.
Let's keep it.
No, but if I give somebody the platform to speak, and I let you speak, then I speak. It doesn't matter that we don't agree or disagree. We can have a conversation, but we got to respect each other in this conversation.
I agree.
I think
and
that
part of that respect is being honest.
Yeah, I think the conversation is healthy. If you listen to the whole Ayanla interview, I get a better sense of what you're trying to say. But the doubling down is what threw me completely off.
What threw you off about it?
It did sound like you was shitting on the working class.
I'm not shitting on the working class.
And if you weren't, I think you need to make that very clear.
Well, I've tried to make it clear with 3 different examples. I think y'all don't want to hear it, and that's okay. Envy, it's okay. Like you said, it's okay to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can argue semantics back, because that's really, at this point, this is an argument around semantics.
How do you feel about the American dream? And what I mean by that is the American dream is the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society which upward mobility is possible for everyone. So all of these jobs that we're talking about, that is those people's version of success. Yeah. That is their American dream. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with them having that?
I think you know the answer. Nothing, Charlamagne.
Okay.
Nothing. Like, come on, we're talking circularly, to Envy's point. There's nothing wrong with that. I am simply, he said it, there are people that don't know what's possible. There are people that don't know, man, I would love to have a salon. What does that take? Well, let me start an LLC. Well, maybe I need to convert to an S corporation. Maybe I need to do this. And so when we are so caught up with feelings, because we don't want people to feel bad, we don't want to call out what people don't have access to or knowledge around, I think it's stagnant.
I think we all agree with that, and what Envy's saying and what everybody else is saying is you can say all of that, and that's true, without calling people average, mediocre, typical,
but that's what
or telling
is.
them they're stuck in the low expectation.
And I think I think per the dictionary, and per the facts. So again, we spent 40 minutes talking about something that's very simple, and unfortunate that this is really where we landed, Charlamagne, because we're talking about personal projections around defined words. That's really what this whole, and that's why brother is nodding.
But you can weaponize defined words.
But don't put that on me, because I'm not weaponizing it.
Whether you think you did or not, I told you I think you did.
Well, you can think whatever you want, Charlamagne.
And a lot of other people did too.
I don't care what. It could be Jesus Christ thinking it. I know what I said.
Well, if it's Jesus Christ, you better listen. If it's Jesus Christ, you better listen.
Well, you listen. But
I do appreciate the broader conversation.
You better listen to Jesus.
That's right. Yeah, well, we thank you for
I appreciate the platform. I really do. But let's be very careful that we are not so blindsided, stuck, and regressive in our feelings that we're not able to hear clearly the facts and the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ebony K. Williams.
That's it.
All right. Well, that was your rumor report too.
Bus driver gate continues.
Bus driver gate. People's Choice Mix is up next. We'll see you guys.
Ebony know I love her, man.
All right.
But we should do this more often.
It's just a conversation.
This should have happened last week, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the People's Choice Mix. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. We're taking your calls. We know it was pretty spicy up here this morning.
It was. Envy, I was surprised. You got a little heat there.
Beige rage. Beige rage.
Beige rage.
What you think, Mama?
But I understand your point. So basically, I want to touch on things really quick. What Ebony said is what she said. I can definitely feel the emotionality behind all of the comments that Ebony received behind what she said based on her personal preference. Because let's remember, Ayanna asked her who she would date. This was all about who Ebony would date. And a lot of people were bringing all of their emotions on what a black woman should want from a black man versus, what they actually get from a black man or what their expectations are supposed to be. And I think the real basis behind what she was saying was not that working in those bus driver positions or not working in the business class, the working class is a bad thing, or that people shouldn't accept those things, but more so that you can always be better. It doesn't matter that she had a white fiance and not want still want the advancement for her people. That's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is you can be okay with being a bus driver. You can also be okay with being a bus driver owner or have the CDL and things like that or whatever. But people have to continue to progress or want to progress. You know, coming from my position, for example, I have a mother who always wanted better, who always wanted to progress, who came from being a single mother, having to work 3 jobs, and decided to go to school and get her degrees, and is now making a 6-figure income and working for herself and things like that. She actually did divorce a man at one point who was just okay and complacent in being in a working class position. That doesn't necessarily mean she looked down on him or didn't respect him in his position and his ability of being a provider, but she knew she wanted to continue to level up. She knew that she wanted to continue to advance to a lifestyle that she wanted, that he was okay with not having. You know, and at that point, that's when they became unequal and yoked. At that point is when they realized that their marriage wasn't going to work, you know, and things like that. Of course, people can be together.
I think you got it. No, I think you got it. I think she got it as far as you can't be mad at Ebony for her preference. And I think that is what Ebony's overall conversation is, that she wants everybody to realize their full potential. You know what I mean? Once again, the only problem I have with it is the wording. You know what I mean? I don't think that the working class should be referred to as average, mediocre, or typical. And she said she didn't mean it in that way. She just using words.
And that was my problem. I just didn't. You know, she could prefer who she wants to date. She could date marry who she wants. But when I heard that, it just bothered me because I know where my parents started from. I know where I started from. And she cleared it up. She said she didn't mean it like that. And hello, who's this?
Vicky.
Hey, Vicky. Good morning. Talk to us.
Good morning. I appreciate Charlamagne and the outlook on essential workers and just life in general. I live in Charleston, South Carolina.
843.
That's it. I'm a single mother of 4. I have 3 boys and 1 girl. My 2 boys are honor roll kids, athletic kids. I did not graduate high school. I take care of my children.
Damn.
I am a night auditor full-time, and I do Uber to make my ends meet. So when Ebony says the things that she says, it's a downer, because you're saying that the little things that we do strive and do doesn't matter.
Nah,
and that's not. It's not right. Like,
I get it. The only thing I can say is, she said this morning that wasn't her intention. I don't. If you ever read her book, Bet on Black, I don't think that's her intention. I think she really does want to see, black people prosper. But I think we do have to be cognizant of other people's feelings, and we got to be cognizant of our language, because words definitely do matter.
Right. And I always want to say too that it's always open to have a conversation, right? We don't. Everybody doesn't have to agree with each other. I said some things out there that you guys out there don't agree with, and Charlamagne has said some things, but
I've never said anything people don't agree with.
That's a goddamn lie. But we should be able to have that conversation at any given point and be able to talk about it and shake hands and give each other hugs after. We should be able to.
Weezy and Mandy, y'all still here? Y'all know that, right? Just want to make sure.
Oh, I'm still thinking of.
I'm here. I ain't gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. I have some probably unpopular takes, which is why I'm gonna be quiet on a lot of things.
No, go ahead.
I just think even for the callers calling in, like, yes, you can try as hard as you can, but I do believe the partner that I have, the friends that I keep around me, I want them to strive to do more than what they are. So I do also have a problem with people that I feel are complacent in just accepting what they're doing and not striving for more. I do think it was said wrong. I think Ebony's delivery could have been much better. And I do think as individuals, once someone is condescending or once you feel attacked, that your ears are not open to listening to what all she's saying.
But why do you have a problem with people that feel complacent?
Oh, I just said I ain't dating them and they not my friends. I personally strove my hardest. I did AP courses. I went above and beyond. I could have got 1 bachelor's degree. Instead, I got 2. I'm one of those that continuously wants to climb. The people around me are that way. I personally don't want people around me that are complacent and not striving for more. Envy, you got 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses. You wanted more. Like, you continuously want more for yourself. Charlamagne, you do the same. Wheezy, as my partner, you do the same.
Right,
people around me, and I think in what she wants as a partner, it's okay to say, that's not good enough for me. It could be good enough for you. 2 things can be true. I do think it was delivery, but unfortunately, I agree. not in her delivery, but in what she said. Those aren't the people I want around me, and I want my people, my family, my partners, my friends to do better.
Well, if you had 4 kids, Mandy, would you be able to do all that you're doing now? Probably not.
Point.
Oh, I ain't gonna hold you. That's why I'm pro-choice like a mother. I do not want kids. Pull out the vacuum. I want to focus on me. So I ain't out here talking about I'm a single mama. Am I? That ain't my story.
We get canceled. I hope you guys have a permanent guest spot for me.
I will say this though.
Shout out to pro-choice.
I don't care what people do if they're my friend. I don't care if they're bus drivers, if they work at AT&T, if they are whatever. If they're good people, they're good people.
They can be good people. You ain't gonna invite them on your trips because they can't afford to go on the trips with you.
I got friends that go on my trips. Yeah, I got.
Okay.
That's real. That's real.
I recently paid for one of my friends to come on a trip because he's a hard-working ass friend. He's my best friend. He's an amazing person. He's lit as hell. He runs our tour. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, some people deserve to be gifted. My choices in life, took me somewhere else.
That's right.
But that don't mean I'm leaving them people.
I'm always make space for good people. I think that's what we're missing. I think we're missing that in this conversation. Regardless of what position you're in life, professionally or personally, I'm always find a place for a good person.
That's how I feel. And I just remember being in college, right? Being at Hampton University, and everybody going to their business classes and their stock classes and being accountant in business and communications and all this. And when they asked me what I'm gonna do, I said I was gonna be a DJ, right? And they all laughed. Oh, this, that, the other, yada, 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 yada. The people that said, I don't care what you're going to be, you're a good person, those are still my friends now.
Yeah.
Still my friends now.
But they love you for you.
They love me for me now.
Because they heard you on the ones and twos.
You don't say ones and twos no more. But they,
ones and twos. I never heard you DJ, but what?
But they believed in me as a person.
Right.
And those people are still around me now. That I went to high school, to college. And the rest of them dudes are probably, I don't know what they're doing now, nor do I care. But
I married my best friend who believed in me.
You and me both.
You know what I mean?
I didn't marry you, your girl, your wife, but I married my best friend.
What you meant?
You know what I meant. I just make sure.
If y'all was single, you would marry Charlamagne.
He's not my type.
He's not your type.
He's too short.
If he's not my type, he don't got a vagina. He got a vagina.
You don't know what I got or what I identify as, sir.
He said his booty hole brown. Hey. He got another hole.
Leave us on a positive note, man.
Listen, the positive note is simply this, man. It's just a little financial advice. Don't go broke trying to look rich. Act your wage.
Right? I know that's right. And final note for me. If you are a good-looking bus driver, that's all I really want.
See?
Can you take me to eat?
That's
I don't know. For me, it's a hot girl summer. Slide in my DMs. What's up? I'm single. I ain't going back to that man. No double back over here.
Ride.
All right.
You feel me? But also, wait, before we go, make sure y'all tune into Whoreible Decisions every Monday. We are on the Black Effect Network. We've been with them since day one.
That's right.
Photo one. Hello. Just killed the Black Effect Festival in Atlanta.
And talk about the tour.
I was about to say, and we are going on tour. Right. We are going on a 16th. Looking to add a city, so potentially 17 city tour kicking off in June. We are hitting the Midwest.
So if you want to hear about more pee, watch people each other, things like that, come to the tour.
Guys.
But you ain't going to see it in person. But we're going to talk about it potentially. Make sure you go to whorehive.com and get your tickets. We're kicking off June 9th in Detroit, followed by Cincinnati, then ending in Chicago that same weekend. So there's June 9th, 10th, and 11th. And again, if you're looking for another podcast and you want to hear us talk about some real stuff, it's Whoreible Decisions. Type in whore, we pop up. That
Everything
is not on the
we can
list.
say on this
we can
list.
actually say whore. So type in whore, we pop up. It's Whoreible Decisions. Thank you, Charlamagne, for always vouching for us.
Guys. I mean, you're starting in the D, but you're back tomorrow. Like, you act like you're signing off forever, right?
No. But hey,
you're coming back tomorrow.
They want tickets to move today.
I was about to say, we got to sell these tickets.
I'm not mad at you.
Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow.
We're going to be behind that wheel on the bus.
It's the Breakfast Club.
Bye, y'all.
Breakfast Club, bitches.
Y'all finished or y'all done?